Yes, so dear student, I Rakesh Jain from Gambier University. Today I am going to teach you about the modes of transmission of heat, the black body effect, and Kirchhoff law of heat radiation. First of all, we know that temperature can be transferred from one place to another place. It may be via the medium like air, like water. It may be via the physical contact with the medium that is like solid. It via the electromagnetic radiations. So, what kind of difference between those types of transfer of heat? That is a part of modes of transmission of heat. So after the completion of this lecture, you will be able to understand the difference between those mediums like conduction, convection, and radiations, the modes of transmission of heat. After the completion of this lecture, you will be able to understand that why the black body emitted more. Because whenever, let's suppose I wear a black shirt, I just go in direct contact with the sunlight, like I am going to market, okay, in broad daylight. And if I wear the white shirt instead of that black, and I go in market in broad daylight, then definitely I will feel some more heat in the black case. So after the completion of this lecture, you will able to understand that why it happens, why the black body, in the black body or in the black surfaces or in a black shirt or black wearing a black clothes, why we feel more heat. After the completion of this lecture, you will be able to understand that the relationship between the incident and heat energy, radiated energy, transmitted energy or transferred energy, and absorbed energy related to the thermal radiations. So let's begin our journey. First of all, just see this MS Paint file where we will start our lecture. So here, today, first of all, we will study about the modes of transmission of heats. Modes of transmission of heats. So what are the different modes of transmission of heat? As I have already been told you that the transmission of heat, it means we want to understand about how the temperature just communicated from one place to another place. How many different type of methods are there. So first of all, just see these images so you will understand this thing. Yes. So we know that there are different kind of methods by which we can understand the transmission of heat. Like for example, let's suppose I have a utensil, I have a source pin. I just put that source pin in direct contact with the flame, okay. In that source pin or utensil, I have water. I want to burn that water, okay. So I just put that image in front of you in this MS Paint file. Yes. So now we are going to see that example of transmission of heat. So here there are two images. Here there are two images in front of you. First of all, let's suppose, first example I am telling you that let's suppose I have a flame. I just put an iron rod over there. Let's suppose this is an iron rod, which I just put on the flame directly. Okay. After some time, what will happen? This is the iron rod. So I just write down the name of this rod, so you will not getting confused. This is an iron, a metallic rod. This is an iron rod. So what will happen if one end of this iron rod is in directly contact with the heat? That is, let's suppose a flame is there. Okay. So what will happen? If I put my hand after some time at this side, then what will happen? Definitely, I will feel heat at this end. Why? Another end of the iron rod is in contact with the flame, but after some time, when I just put, I feel nothing. But a few seconds after, I will feel heat in my hand, which is in directly contact with the second end of the iron rod, because definitely some temperature will be transferred from this end to that end. So that kind of transmission of heat is known as, that kind of modes of transmission of heat is occurs in the solid, that is known as convection. So here physical contact is needed. This mode of transmission of heat, that is known as conduction, occurs in the solids, as in the example of iron rod. Physical contact is needed, but this process is slow compared with the other modes of transmission of heats. Basically, there are three kinds of transmission of heats mode. There are three modes of transmission of heat. I just write down first of all the name. The first mode, whose example I just gave you, that is convection. This is a slow process, and it does not follow the law of reflection and refraction. It does not follow the law of refraction and reflection, which we will separately study in another lecture. It is a slow process compared with the other modes of transmission of heat process. And in this process, we will see that our contact will be physically, or contact will be physically with the surface. Okay. It is occurs due to the temperature difference. The one end of the iron rod, which is directly in physical contact with the flame, is heat up. Another end, which was cold, now it will again heat up. So it is due to the difference of the temperature. It is due to the difference of the temperature. Okay. You all able to see my face now? Just type in message box. You all able to see my face? My video is on also. Okay. Now see the second image, the second case. Let's suppose I have a source pin like this one. Okay. Let's suppose I have a utensil, or source pin, we can say utensil. Any port, we can say. I just put water in that utensil. I have water in that utensil. Let's suppose these red color signs are the drops of water. These are water inside this. Okay. And that water is in directly physical contact with the flame. Directly physical contact with the flame. That the utensil is in directly physical contact with the flame. Now, at the starting case, the water is cold. When I put that water in the utensil, which will further put on the flame directly, so the utensil or the source pin will be in directly physical contact with the flame. After some time, I will feel that the water will be heated. The water will be heated. It is due to the molecules in the water. It is due to the movement of the molecules in the water. They will be heated. That's why the water is heated. So now the second method of modes of transmission of heat, that is known as convection. This example is the process of convection. It occurs in the solids or liquids, occurs due to the intermediate object like the water or air, due to the intermediate object. Okay, the solid and water are intermediate. Due to the flaming of that utensil, the solid utensil, the water will be heated up. So it is due to the intermediate object. It is due to the difference of the density. It is due to the density difference. So that is known as convection effect. Okay, the water will be heated up. This is an example of the convection effect. Now the third one is radiation. The third one is radiation case. The third one is radiation case. See this. The third one is radiation. Let's suppose in the first example or in the second example, if someone put his hand near to that flame, then what he or she will feel? Definitely they feel heat on their hand. The hand is not directly physical contact with the flame. It is not in the source pin also. In the second case, if I do not put my hand in the water, but I put my hand near that flame, then what I will feel? I will feel some heat on my hand. So definitely that is an example of some. It means some temperature, some heat is in the form of waves or in the form of radiation that comes from that flame to that body, which we cannot see directly, but it will happen. Due to that, we feel heat on my hand. So that is a part of third effect that is known as radiation, or we can say conduction, convection, and radiation. So there are three examples which I just put in front of you. Now we see these examples again in these images. So see both the images, those examples. So in the first example of this one, which is in front of you, I have a candle and I just put any metallic rod or metallic pin. Just put one end of the metallic pin on that candle, whose flame is in directly contact with the one end of that pin. Then what I will feel? I will feel that the other end, which is in my hand, will also be burned out. So the first example in this image is an example of conduction. So this is an example of conduction. In the second example, I just see that a source pin is on the flame, on a stove. Okay. So after some time, I will feel some heat the water will be heat up. So this second example is an example of convection. It occurs in the liquids or solid air, or liquids or air, we can say, gases. The third example, I am just in a broad daylight. A man is in just a broad daylight. And we know that the one of the most effective thermal radiation example is sunlight, because sunlight is the direct example of a thermal radiation. So due to that sunlight, some electromagnetic radiation will be there, and I will feel heat on my body because I am in broad daylight. So more heat, more temperature I feel when even the sweat will be come out from my body. So that is an example of radiation. Due to some electromagnetic radiation comes on my body directly, which is absorbed by my body, and due to that I feel much more heat. That is an example of radiation, because radiation are due to the temperature which is greater than 0 Kelvin, and it is occurs through electromagnetic radiation in the form of waves or in the form of radiated energy. So this is an example of radiation. In the second case, see the second case, this one I am talking about this one. I just put a utensil, I just put a source pin on a directly contact with the flame, in which in the source pin I have water. Okay, so what I feel after some time, due to the heat up, due to the direct physical contact of this solid utensil or solid source pin, I will feel that its handle will also be burned out, which is in my hand. So this is an example of conduction, because heat is transferred from the direct contact to this handle of this source pin. This is an example of conduction. After some time, I will feel that the water is also heat up. This is due to the molecules, due to this burning of these molecules. Okay, so due to this molecular temperature effect, this is known as convection. This is known as convection that occurs in gases and liquids. And this flame also radiate some temperature, some heat in the form of waves, or we can say electromagnetic radiation. So this will create some heat near this flame. That is an example of radiation. So convection, convection, and radiations, both of these terms are related with the transmission of heat, and these three categories can be termed as the these three categories can be termed as transmission modes of transmission of heat. So now, what are those examples of modes of transmission of heat? Once again, just type in message box. You are able to see my face. My video is on actually, but due to some network issue, you are able to see. Just type it in message box. Okay, very good. So now see the difference between the modes of transmission of heat. So I just delete these examples and we will see the difference between the conduction and convection and radiation. What are those difference? So in a tabular manner, I am going to explain you the difference between the convection, convection, conduction, convection and radiation. First is convection. Second one is convection. Basically, conduction occurs in solids. Conduction occurs in liquids and gases. And all the hot objects heat away the heat, okay, by radiation. That is your radiation. Conduction, in the case of conduction, physical contact is required. In the case of convection, also the physical contact is required. But in case of radiation, no physical contact is a mandatory thing. No physical contact is a mandatory thing. Okay. Liquids and gases generally related with the convection, solids related with the conduction, and radiation is electromagnetic form of waves and radiations. So those terms I have already been taught you in the previous examples. Now we have to see the basic differences between conduction and convection and radiation in a tabular manner. So first of all, the conduction. So conduction is due to the difference of temperature. Conduction is due to difference of temperature. Talk about the convection. Convection is due to the difference of density. The difference of density. And third one is radiation. It is occurs in the operation object due to the temperature difference. Temperature is greater than 0 K. Objects due to temperature greater than 0 K. This is the first difference. The second one is take place in solid. This conduction effect actually takes place in solids. The second one, convection, it takes place in liquids and gases. And in case of radiation, all the hot objects emits the heat. Okay, so that's why all the hot objects, radiation, like the sunlight. The sun is thermal radiation example. Automatically, it will emit the heat. So all of the hot objects give away heat or emit the heat by radiation. All the hot objects give away heat by radiation in form of rays or waves. Third difference is conduction process is a little bit slow process. If we compare with the convection, then convection is faster. If we compare with if we compare the radiation with conduction and convection both, then it is the fastest process. Is the fastest process. The convection does not follow the law of reflection and refraction. It does not follow the law of reflection and refraction. Similar to this, the convection also does not follow the law of reflection and refraction. I just copy and paste here. It does not follow the law of and reflection. The third one, radiation. Actually, it follows the law of reflection and reflection. So I just write down directly follow both. The fifth meaning is the transfer of heat occurs due to the solid objects, right? And it occurs due to the intermediate objects. What I want to say, I just write down. Occurs through heated solid object. It occurs through heated solid object. It occurs through heated solid object. This convection occurs through intermediate object. For example, the air and liquid, right? For example, if I just heat the water, then some water will be, due to the molecules motions, it will be heat up. The third one is radiation. It occurs through electromagnetic wave. So these are the basic difference, and the previous example in which I put those examples in front of you, that you can also put that example in conduction, convection and radiations. Just I show you that example once again. So both of those examples you can put to show the differences between conduction, convection and radiation. These are two examples are also present, which show you the conduction, convection and radiation. From the brown color right sign, I am showing you the example of conduction. This one is an example of conduction. From this green color, I am showing you the example of convection due to the motion of the molecules in the water. The water will be heat up, which is put in the source pin, which is our utensil, which further in direct contact with the flame. So the water will be heat up. So that is an example of, I just marked right, convection. And the third one I just put with the black. See, due to this flame, some waves or radiation will be emitted that will heat up the surrounding. And that is an example of radiation. So this black, green and brown color right sign show you the example conduction, convection, and radiation in the same example. Okay. The second one, with this brown color, I am showing you that conduction example. Due to the physical contact, my hand, I have a metal pin or metal rod in my hand, and just the another end of that rod is in direct contact with the flame. So I will feel after some time, after a few times, that my hand will also feel some temperature, some heat will be over there. So that is via the movement of the electron present in that solid metal rod. So this is an example of conduction. Second one with the convection example, I am showing you with this green, right? That the water will be heat up, that previously put in form of cold in a utensil which is in direct contact with the stove. So that is an example of convection. And the third example, in a broad daylight, due to the heat in the surrounding, I feel the heat. It comes actually from the sunlight in the form of electromagnetic radiation. So that is an, sorry, with the black color I'm showing you. So that is an example of radiation. Okay. So in those examples you can put in conduction, convection, and radiation category. So I just split that example. So in the category of conduction, this is an example. The second one, utensil example, is in the form convection, and the third one, broad daylight example, in the case of radiations. So these are general example of the conduction, convection, and radiation. So I think you understand about the basic difference between the conduction, convection, and radiation, and you understand to choose the topic of modes of transmission of heat, so that we cover all the cases of conduction, convection, and radiation. Now the second topic which I am going to start is, see this MS Paint file. I just save this file first of all, then we will begin our journey. So that is Kirchhoff law of heat radiation. That is Kirchhoff law of heat radiation. Kirchhoff law of heat radiation. So what is this law? What is this law? So the Kirchhoff law of heat radiation is actually related with the thermal radiation. Actually related with the thermal radiation. Actually, it is related with the thermal radiation. What is the meaning of thermal radiations? We know that, okay, sunlight is a direct example of the thermal radiations. Means the transmission of a heat that is related with thermal radiation. So Kirchhoff law of heat radiation. First of all, we should write down that Kirchhoff law of heat radiation is related with thermal radiation. Let's suppose I have an object that is put in broad sunlight, that is in sunlight. So sunlight is an example of thermal radiation. So we can say, let we have an object that is, we have an object that is sunlight. Sunlight is an example of thermal radiations. Okay. So let we have an object that is in sunlight. So let this is my object, any metallic surface or anything. So let it is an object. So when it is in sunlight, definitely some energy will be here, heat energy. Let the thermal radiation, due to that thermal radiation, because it is in sunlight, like this is my sun. So due to this sun, the heat will be in the form of electromagnetic radiation. So some incident energy will be, because this sunlight comes on this metallic surface. This is a metallic surface. I just write down separate there. This is a metallic surface, or any object. Any object. I just write down any object. Because I am going to explain you via some arrow. That's why I delete this arrow, so you will not get confused. You understand this thing. So I just remove this arrow sign because I am going to explain you this process via some. So let's suppose I have some object I have an object that is in directly in broad daylight, so an example of thermal radiations. Then the incident energy is, let's suppose, indicated by abbreviated by EI. So some heat will be fall on this object. That's why it consists of some energy. So let's suppose the incoming energy on that object is denoted by EI. Okay. So some part of that energy will be absorbed by the object. Will be absorbed by the object. So whatever the energy absorbed by this object is, let's suppose, denoted by the abbreviation EA. A for the absorb and E for the energy. So the energy absorbed by that body is your EA. If the body is a flat surface, then the radiated energy will be more. And if the body is curved shape, if the body is rough body, if we take, then the absorbed energy should be more. Remember this thing. If the body is flat, then radiated energy will be more. Okay, emitted energy will be more. And if the body is rough, then the absorbed energy is more. Always you in domestic example, you may aware about this thing. Otherwise, what was the Kirchhoff law of heat radiation? To understand the Kirchhoff law of heat radiation, we just take an example of broad, put the object in the broad sunlight. So the incident energy on that object is, let's suppose, abbreviated by EI. The absorbed energy by this object is, let's suppose, indicated or abbreviated by EA. Some part of this energy will be emitted, will be radiated nearby. So that part of energy is, or transmitted, we can say. So that part of energy radiated or transmitted is, let's suppose, indicated by ER. Okay. Some part of this energy which is incident, the incident energy, some part of that incident energy is absorbed by the body, and that energy I indicated by EA. Some energy of that incident energy, some part of that incident energy will be reflected back to the nearby, that is known as, or surrounding, that is known as ER. And some part of this body will be transmitted to some another, transmitted. Okay. For example, let's suppose I have a mirror. So I just put it in the front of the sunlight, and I just put a paper at the back side of this this mirror. Then what will happen? After some time, I feel that some part of the paper will be burned out. Why? Because some heat radiation cross that object of mirror. It means cross that object of mirror. That is the transmitted energy. Okay. If I put my hand on that mirror image, then I feel it is very hot object now. The mirror is now hot, very hot mirror. So it is due to the absorbed energy, due to the absorbed heat radiations. Okay, and I put some paper or some hand just near to that, then I feel some energy or some heat over there. So that is radiated form. Okay. So the absorb. So actually, EI. I just write down the name of that three. So in this example, I see that EI as the incident energy, ER as the reflected energy, radiated energy, EA as the absorbed energy, and ET is the transmitted energy, Okay. So I just write down the name. The incident energy is incident. Firstly, I just write down the name for those abbreviations. Radiated energy. For energy by the object, and T is the transmitted energy or transmitted. Okay, then this incident energy, first the root is the incident energy. So actually this incident energy is the combination of, for this example, it is a combination of the radiated energy, absorbed energy, and the reflected energy, absorbed energy and the transmitted energy. Okay, those objects which absorb much more will emit more. This is the Kirchhoff law of heat radiation. This which object transmit more the energy or reflect more energy? Definitely which absorb more. For example, if I have a black shirt, I just wear a black shirt. I just go in the market in a broad daylight. I feel much more heat on me. Okay, compare with the black body person. If both the body temperature of both the persons are equal and both are same kind of person, we can say, okay, body structure is same, not the fatty and too much fatty and a thin example, both are of same body structure. Then if one person wear the black shirt and this or the same person example, if I wear the black shirt, go in the black broad daylight, I feel much more heat. Second day or the same day, I just wear the white shirt, go in the market, I feel more heat but less compared with the black shirt. It means the black body absorb much more. Okay, I just after that market, I just come in a AC room. Okay, when I in the previous example, when I wear the black shirt and go in the broad daylight, so much heat I feel because of the due to the black shirt which absorbs so much heat. When I just come to the AC room, I feel so much cold fastly. The sweat will become from my body, pasina. Sweat will become from my body very fastly. And if I wear the white shirt, just come again in the AC room from the market in the broad daylight, I feel that the sweat will become from my body. Okay, but if I compare with the black body sweat and the white body sweat, then I feel that in the black body case, the sweat will become fastly compared with this white body when I am in a AC room. It means black body will absorb much more heat, now emit much more heat, because the heat will be transferred from my body due to that AC effect, due to that coldness. That's why in the form of sweat. Okay, so whatever I absorb will be emit fastly. So Kirchhoff law of heat radiation, actually in a very simple language, in a very simple say definition, we can say what is the Kirchhoff law of heat radiation? Good absorber are good emitters. Good absorber are good emitters. If in this example, this is a statement of Kirchhoff law of heat radiation in a very simple term. In this example, we understand that the incident energy will be reflected, transmitted, and absorbed. Okay. Now, if the body is of black body, if the body is a black body, if this body is of black body, then what will happen? Definitely the transmitted or reflected energy will be more because the absorbed energy is more. If the body is of white, then definitely the transmitted and reflected energy, the transmitted energy, the emitted energy is less compared with the previous example of black body, because the absorbed energy is less compared with the previous example of black body. Okay, so those which absorb more will be emit more. Okay, so that is Kirchhoff law of heat radiation in the form of numerical, in the form of the formula basis. We can say, let's suppose E lambda. So I just remove the right hand side terms, then we let's suppose E lambda is my, let's suppose E lambda, E for the emitted energy, and lambda is any wavelength, because we know that the form of radiation consists of the wavelength. Okay, so let's suppose E lambda is the emitted power of the body. Okay. A lambda, A for the absorb capacity, absorb power. So absorptive power of the body is A lambda. At any wavelength, at a particular wavelength, we take the same wavelength, we take the same heat radiation, it means same wavelength. So absorptive power of a body is, let's suppose, denoted by N A lambda. E lambda is the emissive power of the body, means the capacity to emit, to radiate. Okay, absorptive power of the body, A lambda, means the capacity, the power of the body to absorb. Okay, emissive power means the capacity or the power of the body to emit. So emissive power of a body is, let's suppose, denoted by E lambda. Absorptive power of a body is, let's suppose, denoted by A lambda. And for a reference, we take E lambda as a reference for the emissive power of a black body. Emissive power of a black body. We just take the example of the black body always, because black body is a perfect absorber. Okay? So emissive power of a black body. It is taken as a reference. So in terms of the formula, we can say Kirchhoff law of heat radiation. In terms of the definition, good absorber or good emitter. This is Kirchhoff law of heat radiation. In terms of formula, we can say the ratio of the emissive power of black body, or we can say the emissive power of black body and emissive power of any body is proportional to the absorptive power of that body at the same wavelength. Or we can say the emissive power of a black body, the ratio of the emissive power of a body and the ratio of the emissive power of a body and absorptive power of a body is actually equal to the emissive power of a black body at the same wavelength. Okay? This is known as Dheeraj, kindly mute your mobile. Dheeraj, kindly mute your mobile. Yes, so this is known as Kirchhoff law of heat radiation. So the ratio of the emissive power of a body, any body, and absorptive power of any body of the same body means. So if we have a body, the emissive power of that body and the absorptive power of that body ratio is actually equal to the emissive power of black body, and this is known as Kirchhoff law of heat radiation in terms of formula. So I just write down the basic statement of formula, that is the ratio of emissive power of a body and absorptive power of the same body the ratio of emissive power of a body and absorptive power of the same body is equal to the, here black body is taken as a reference, here is equal to the emissive power of black body at the same wavelength. Wow. Yes. The ratio of emissive power of a body and absorptive power of the same body is equal to the emissive power of black body at the same wavelength, and this is known as black body effect. This is known as black body effect. Okay. Sorry, this is known as Kirchhoff law of heat radiation. This is known as Kirchhoff law of heat radiation. So I think you understand the Kirchhoff law of heat radiation via this in this statement that good absorber or good emitter, and in this formula basis that E lambda upon A lambda is equal to capital E lambda. So just we see the next thing, black body or black body effect is what. As I have already been told you that an object, let's suppose we have a black shirt, or we can say a person wear a black shirt. So I just take an image from the Google, can we wait for a while? Person wear a black shirt. if a person wear a white shirt and they are in directly contact with the heat, let's suppose this is a boy which wear a black shirt, okay, and if I'm white shirt. Yes. So let's suppose I just take two examples. Let's suppose I have an example that the person is saying, the person is, let's suppose, saying, this is two persons, not, these are single person, okay? Don't be confused with this. So let's suppose a single person is there. One time he wear the white shirt. Okay, one time he wear the black shirt. Now what will happen? When he wear the black shirt and he just go to market, as I have already been told you the same example, then this black shirt will makes him to feel more heat compared with this white shirt. It means black body is in black body. Black body, heat absorption power is much more compared with any other color object. In black body, heat absorption power is much more compared with any other color object. Yes. So, in any matters, in all the normal matters, absorb the electromagnetic radiation. All the matters means any color objects. Okay. All the matters absorb the electromagnetic radiations in some degree, at some degree. Okay. I just write down this term here. What I want to say. All matters absorb electromagnetic radiation, right, to some degree, to some temperature. All the objects, all the color objects, all the matters absorb the electromagnetic radiations, like the black body also. Okay, an object that absorbs all the radiations falling on it, an object which is a perfect absorber, an object, whatever we incident on that will be absorbed by that object. Definitely that object is a black body object, that is a black body. So an object which absorb or whether the wavelength of all those wavelengths of heat radiation. What I want to say, an object which absorb, absorb all the radiation falling on it at all wavelengths. An object that absorbs all the radiation falling on it at all wavelength is called a black body. Okay, an object that absorbs all the radiations falling on it at all wavelength is called a black body. And we know that in the previous example of Kirchhoff law of heat radiation, we know that because the black body absorption is more, right? That's why its emission should be more. For a black body, the absorptive power of the black body is maximum. The absorptive power, the capacity of a black body to absorb the heat radiation of all the wavelengths is maximum, and it is denoted by 1. So the absorptive power of black body is 1. That is maximum. Limit. So we can denote this term as A lambda is equal to 1, because we know that in the previous example of Kirchhoff law of weak radiation, I denoted the A lambda, that is absorptive power of a black body. So absorptive power of a black body is always equal to 1 because it is maximum. And from the Kirchhoff law, we understand that those objects which absorb more will radiate more, will emit more. It means black body is a perfect absorber, that's why a perfect emitter. That's why a perfect emitter. So black body is a perfect absorber. So from the Kirchhoff law statement, we understand that good emitters are good, and good absorber are good emitter. That's why we can say if we just inculcate that statement with a black body, if a black body term, then we can say black body is great, or we can say perfect absorber. That is good also. So black body is perfect absorber and good or perfect emitter. Perfect absorber are perfect emitters. Good absorber are good emitters. So we just inculcate that statement of Kirchhoff law of radiation with the black body, because black body is a perfect absorber. That's why we can say perfect absorber or perfect emitter. The statement is perfect for black body. So black body is perfect absorber and perfect emitters. So I think you understand from what is the meaning of black body. So I understand. I think that you understand from this difference between the conduction, convection, and radiations. What is the Kirchhoff law of heat radiations? With those certain examples, we just prove that those statements also, and what is the need and what is the meaning of black body. So now let's start some objective questions over there. So we just start some objective questions. Okay. The first two questions which I just typed in front of you is that heat at one end of iron rod. At one end of iron rod. Heat at one end of iron rod due to flame present at another end is an example of convection, radiation. So what should be the correct answer for this question? That the heat at one end of an iron rod due to flame present at another end is an example of conduction, convection, or radiation. Yes, definitely it is an example of convection. It is an example of convection. So yes, my answer is correct. Convection is the correct answer. Just wait, I just come with the Google because it takes more time to type the objects. So let's come with some objective questions. The second example, if you take that the same kind of example, which is the slowest process, which is the fastest process. Which one is fastest process? Which one is fastest process? Convection, the convection or radiation. Then what should be my answer? It's convection, it's convection, or it is radiation. Yes, definitely it is radiation, because the slowest process is convection, faster is convection, and the fastest process is radiation. So it is a fastest process. Okay, it is a fastest process. Which one is correct statement of Kirchhoff's law? That is Kirchhoff's law of heat radiation. So which one is the correct statement regarding the Kirchhoff law? Good observer or good insulator, good observer, good radiator, good observer, good emitter. So which one is the correct statement for the Kirchhoff law of heat radiation? Good observer or good? That's very good. Yes. Now see, a very good example, the objective questions, and you have to find out the answer of this question. This is a question. Which statement is the best example of transfer of heat by conductions? And objects are given as, okay, I just print the screen and just put the question in front of you. So let's suppose this is objective question. Which statement is the best example of heat transfer by radial conduction? Heat energy is transferred from the surface soil to the rocks below. Heat energy is transferred from the earth's surface to the upper atmosphere. Heat energy is transferred from the bottom of the top of the lake. Heat energy is transferred from the sun to the earth. So if you understand the answer of this question, can you please type in the message box below? Which should be the correct answer? Yes, very good. Answer A is correct, because heat energy is transferred from the earth's surface to the upper atmosphere is a form of radiation. Heat energy is transferred from the bottom to the top of a lake. It occurs in liquid, that's why it is a form of convection. Heat energy is transferred from the sun to the earth is a form of electromagnetic radiation, that's why it is radiation. But here the first case, heat energy is transferred from the surface soil, that is a solid form of soil, to the rocks below. The rock are also the form of solid. That's why the correct answer for this is E. Right? So this is a correct example of this questions. Okay. One more example. Yes. So this give me the answer of this question, which is in front of you. During which process of energy exchange does cold air displace warmer air? During which process of energy exchange does cold air displace warmer air? If you have a warmer air, hot air, you just feel that cold air will displace it. Then it is which process? Conduction, absorption, convection, or radiation? Can anyone give the answer? Yes, in message box, most of all persons type their answer as C. That is convection, and this is the correct answer. C is the correct answer, convection. Okay, because that occurs in air. So occurs in air or liquids. That is a form of that is a form of convection. So the answer is convection. That is the correct answer of this question. So dear students, dear student, I think you understand about the convection and radiation, the Kirchhoff law of heat radiation, and the black body. So that's all about this lectures. If you have any queries, if you have any doubts, you will also type in the queries. Okay, so I, Rakesh Jain from Gyanwar University, wants to say you thanks for watching the video. Thank you very much.